would say my desire to ride a motorcycle probably began mm, my adolescent years, early teens. Um, we used to see a lot of the shows on television of people riding motorcycles, and it kind of intrigued me. Watching some of the races on television, the motocross and that sort of thing. So, uh, sort of the thrill of it, and then uh, maybe some of the bad biker type edgy aspects of it also appealed to me as a teenager. So from that point, then made a little bit of an inquiry, expressed some interest to my father about it, but he really wasn't all that supportive of me taking on riding motorcycles. Well, that was much later in life, probably in my 50s. Uh, so as the boys, our two sons, got older, out of the house, and so began to think that if I'm going to do this, I need to do it pretty soon while I still could. Um, and then one of the boys did a tandem parachute jump, and and I thought, well, if he can do that, and pretty scary thing, I should be able to determine how to ride a motorcycle. And so I did what I typically do in certain situations is, I thought about a um, uh, rational excuse or reason to to learn to ride, and that would be, well, I could save money if I uh, was riding a motorcycle back and forth to work. So, so with that that prompted me to take that first step and buy a bike. So the first bike that I bought, my starter bike, was a Yamaha, I think it was an XV 535 Virago. So it was a V-twin type of a bike. It sort of looked like a cruiser style bike, which would most people would understand that as a something that looks like a Harley, but smaller. So it was that's what I got, and that's what I learned to ride on. So I purchased my first bike from a gentleman, and because I didn't know how to ride, and because I didn't have any insurance or anything to do it legally, I actually had to have the previous owner uh, ride the bike over to the house, deliver it to me, and then I had to take him back home in the car. So in order to learn how to ride, I did take some lessons, but first off, I just took it on myself to start riding here in our neighborhood. And so before even making it to the official lessons, I spent a couple hours probably on my own, just getting to learn how to control the thing, how to get it started, how to get it stopped, and how not to fall over. Well, actually, my very first try on a motorcycle occurred probably when I was about 16 years old. This was back when I was had that initial desire to ride. So a friend of mine had a dirt bike, as we call it, and so I thought, hey, this looks easy. So I said, hey, let me try. So I got on it without any knowledge, understanding of how the clutch and throttle need to work together. And so I hopped on it there in front of some of my friends and my girlfriend at the time and let off let off the clutch and twisted the throttle, and I went flying for maybe 20 yards before I ended up laying the thing down. Um, didn't really get hurt other than my pride and ego was quite bruised in front of all of my friends. So, so my second attempt, which would be the first attempt on my own bike, uh, happened. There was a little bit of similarity there, and but not quite as terrible of a conclusion. But I um, got on the bike and in the side lawn and let off the clutch a little too fast and gave it a little bit too much gas, and it tried to squirt out from underneath me and end up scraping the side of my vehicle a little bit with the handlebars. But uh, from that, I learned that I gotta get control of this thing and understand how to control the throttle and release the clutch in such a way that I wouldn't end up killing myself. So I did take my official safe riding class, and so those started out with several hours of classroom instructions of learning the do's and the don'ts. Because what you have really is nothing between you and the ground or you and enough and the other vehicles on the road. So it was very important to learn about safe riding habits, and planning ahead, keeping your eyes way down the road, and looking for potential hazards before they became a hazard. Um, so a lot of these skills that we learned in the writing class are very good skills to know just for driving a car. So the next part of our training was the actual hands-on part where we got to be on the bikes and start learning just how to control them. Uh, Mixing or controlling the throttle and the clutch together. It's for smooth acceleration, learning the braking, how to brake properly, uh, how to corner, how to avoid road hazards. So just the, the real basics of what it takes to ride a motorcycle safely on the roads, and has also covered all of the aspects that we would have have to perform in order to pass our motorcycle endorsement for our South Carolina license. After completing the course, I did have a sense of accomplishment, a sense of pride for being able to pass the course. And then with each trip out, I could feel my confidence building each time out. Um, and, I still have a healthy respect of the risk, the danger that is involved in riding motorcycles. And um, because you don't have the safety features built in around you like you do in a car. Um, so yeah, it's a bit of a thrill every time we go out. The most enjoyable single experience that I've had so far is doing riding a road that's called the Tail of the Dragon. It's located up in the North Carolina, Tennessee mountains, and it has over 300 curves and an 11-mile stretch. So that really pushed me to trust myself and to trust the bike through all of those curves, some very tight hairpin type curves. But once completing that and really had sense of accomplishment, and probably was the biggest booster of my confidence that I had for my riding skills. Some other interesting um, things about motorcycles, if you do choose to ride one. Uh, Certainly, if you're a mechanical type, it gives you a great opportunity just to be able to tinker around with your bike to keep it tuned up, uh, or if you want to customize it, anything like that. It's a much simpler mechanical device than an automobile, and so you can really try out your mechanical skills on that. Another interesting thing is I would say is there is a community around those who ride motorcycles. So you may have seen uh, when you're out driving in your car, when you see some motorcycle riders pass each other, you might see them do this kind of upside down or inverted peace sign to each other. And really, what that means is kind of um, a signal or a greeting from one motorcycle rider to the other. Basically, the two fingers pointed down means to keep keep your two wheels on the ground. Uh, so it's a, I guess you could say it's a blessing from one motorcycle it's to another to always ride safe. When I am out riding, I like to say that I now know why a dog sticks his head out of the window. It's just this kind of a really cool feeling of freedom when you feel the wind blowing in your face, unencumbered. You know, the motorcycle rider versus someone who's just driving a car has to be just totally engaged with the machine that they're on, because you're requiring to, you know, you have to use both hands, both feet, a lot of things going on at once. And I'd say the most important thing that you have to always do is you always have to have your eyes and your mind totally engaged, always looking out for the unexpected, and always making a plan for should something go wrong, what do I do? How do I get out of that? One of the other things I like to do when I get out riding is just allow all of my troubles and concerns to kind of blow away in the wind. So when you're engaged in the riding and being so um, engaged in the physical activity of riding and the mental activity of riding a motorcycle, everything else sort of gets pushed to the side, and um, pretty soon it just kind of blows away